count you in. 3, 2, 1. Byronique Barbie, welcome to Gong Show Tarot. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on the conference.
I'm happy to have you on. And you're fresh off a show. You just did a show at the Palace last night, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Carpool comedy. Everybody pulled up in their cars and just faced the stage, which was the back of a U-Haul pickup truck.
So
it was great. It was great.
Was it outside? You did it outside?
It was outdoors, so
okay.
Everybody could social distance.
Okay, right. So it was.
Stay in the car.
Was it all legal, Byronique?
That part, I'm not sure because I didn't put it together.
Because I don't know if you know this. A lot of people don't know this, but I'm actually a busker, and I kind of do this guerrilla busking stuff.
Really?
And I'm always nervous that maybe the police will show up and say, oh, you can't do this right now. So I always ask that question.
That's true, because my brother, he had a show not too long ago, and the plug got pulled while we were in the club. Like somebody must have went and snitched, and
oh no,
they came and shut it down. That was last month though. That was last month before the curfew and all that stuff.
Oh, you're in LA, right?
Well, I'm in California, so we have that curfew thing going on.
So you have a curfew. It's like 8 p.m. or?
The last I heard, it was midnight. But then I heard the courts are overturning it because the governor acted without, I don't know, their permission. It's a big mess.
So it's not necessarily law right now. It's just kind of a suggestion.
I think it's just, the governor is just trying to do what he feels is the best.
See here, the bars are all closing at like 10:30, 11 now, if you're lucky.
But they're still open.
They're still open. Some of them are open. Some of them have closed completely.
And you're in Canada, right?
In Canada, yeah. I'm in BC.
I didn't know we're on the same time zone.
Same time zone, yeah. Because I'm close to the west, right? I'm in the westernmost province, so yeah, same as California time-wise, but a lot colder. It's minus, I don't know in Fahrenheit, but it's minus 12 degrees Celsius here this morning. So that's why I have this toque on. It's cold.
Oh my God! And I'm thinking it's cold out here.
Is it nice and sunny there in California today?
Yeah, it's pretty sunny, but it's a little chilly. But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah. Okay. Byronique, why comedy? Why do you want to do comedies? Have you always wanted to do comedy?
I really always just wanted to act. That's always been my thing.
Okay. That was one of my questions, is if you ever wanted to be like in a film or a stage play.
Oh, that's always been my dream since I always loved entertaining in whatever way I could ever since elementary. But when I got into about, I'd say, high school and I joined the drama club, that's when I really just wanted to be a big movie star, like a big, super big Hollywood star, and just like really knew that I could act, and from the feedback I would always get that I was good and I should go for it, and so that kind of just fed into it more, and I'm like, I could do that. I grew up on movies. Like that's all we did in the house was watch movies. I quote movies so often. I'm definitely a movie buff, and so I just would look and study them, and like I could do that. That would be great. That would be the best job in the world. You know what I mean?
It sounds like this is something you've always done. Do you remember your first role, like when you were in drama club in school? Do you remember your very first acting role?
I do. I remember being in a play in middle school, and it was like so black. It was like about my line. I had like one little line, and it was something about grandma getting the collard greens or something. It had to do with collard greens. I was talking about food and soul food, and yeah, I remember that. And nobody was paying attention in the audience. It was just.
Did you steal the show with that one line?
I did.
You got a laugh, didn't you? Yeah.
The audience laughed though. Yeah. Like, I remember. And then high school, I did my first you know, kind of a more sustainable role, like something bigger, you know, high school. I was in the drama club and we
what
did a
play was
play.
that? Do you remember what play that was?
It was called Inherit the Wind. That's like a white play, like a
Oh,
judge.
Inherit the Wind. Yeah, that's a classic, isn't it?
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
and for us to be at an all black high school in the middle of South Central, that's the play that we did.
Is that
And so,
a Tennessee Williams play? Do you remember who wrote that?
no, it's not. I have the book, the play.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Inherit the Wind. I'll just look it up really quick here.
because I have it, but it'll take me a minute to get to it. But yeah, Inherit the Wind, my God. And I didn't have a big,
because I am a drama nerd as well, so I should know this stuff. Did you study after high school? Did you go study acting in college as well?
Yeah, I have one of my bachelor's of arts degrees is in theater arts.
Oh, okay, awesome. And you got that at UCLA or?
No, I went to Cal State Dominguez Hills. That's in
Cal State.
Carson,
Okay.
California. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and was that a 3-year program?
That was, well, it took me a lot more than 3 years because I honestly double majored. And so, of course, that adds time to your sentence. I actually went the community college route first.
That's what I did.
Yeah, I spent about 5 years wasting away there.
Oh, wow.
And it's a trap. It's so easy to get trapped at community college.
Yeah.
It's so easy. You know,
have you heard of the Second City, Byronique?
I have.
I studied at the Second City in Toronto, and I actually studied comedy for about 11 years. And then I realized that I'm actually a straight man, so. And the last guy I had on, Marcus Colby. Have you watched the Colby interview?
No, not yet.
You should watch that. It's the one just before you, and he actually got kicked out of acting school. Yeah.
What?
Did anyone get kicked out of your class when you were going at Caltech or no?
No, nobody got kicked out. It wasn't, it wasn't that kind of school. I mean, how do you get kicked out of acting?
They're brutal up here. Like we have a national training school, like the National Theater School up here, and they take like 20 people and then they kick out like half of them in the first year. So it's brutal. It's brutal. And it sort of prepares you for the real acting world because it's brutal too, right? Like you've been to commercial auditions and they're like they suck, right?
I actually took a workshop after graduating college to prepare you specifically for commercial auditions.
Okay.
Because the guy that taught it, he said, if you don't go in there and you have to, before you even open your mouth, you have to give them something that lets them know that you're different. Otherwise, they'll just, as soon as you open your mouth, it'll be like, out of here.
Yeah. Well, and even then, like if you don't look exactly the right way, you're probably not getting cast anyways. That's what I found.
Yeah, you have to present yourself. Yeah, definitely the look.
That brings me to my next one. Do you have an agent right now, like a booking agent or
No, that's the thing that's killing me and my career is by not having an agent. I really do believe that's pretty, it's deadly to your career. You got to have a booking agent to be out there, you know, putting in the work for you, trying to get you, you know, into those auditions that they don't post up on, you know, Backstage or, you know, all these websites that you can put yourself on. You know, a lot of things, a lot of jobs on those are more so background roles, or, you know, it's harder to get unless you have an agent.
Yeah. Well, and there are agents, I think, in LA, like you're in a good spot geographically, because I think there's agents that specifically handle comedians, are there not?
There should be. It's just really trying to go about the way to find an agent and the way to look. That's been my problem and issue with it, is how to go about.
Have you heard of Levity Talent?
No.
Look them up. I'll give you their number actually right now. And anyone who's watching that wants to do comedy, they handle comedians, I think, specifically. They're in your area, I believe. It's area code 310. Is that a local?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, 310-417-4800. They're called Levity Talent, and they have a good website too. So
Levity, is it
Levity
L
Talent.
E?
Yeah, they actually they're carrying some high profile talent. Like I think they manage Timothy Dillon, which I think they should drop him. So they should get rid of his ass and put Byronique Barbie on the roster, I think.
Oh wow!
You heard it here first. Anyway, I don't have an agent anymore. I submit myself. I don't go out for commercials anymore. I just do my own thing, and I have the radio program. I don't know if you've listened to that, but yeah, I don't really go out anymore.
And how did you go about getting your agent?
Submissions. So you write letters. Like this was back like early 2000s, right? So you write letters, headshots, right? So headshots and letters, and just cross your fingers.
And mail them out.
Yeah, but it's competitive, and a lot of them they have stacks, right? They have stacks on their desk this high. So if you're lucky and you're cute and they like you, you know.
Yeah, and your picture's right.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have headshots right now? Do you have good ones?
No, I actually need updated ones. This whole COVID thing, though, I'm like, I definitely got to get some updated ones once I drop some pounds so I can look like myself again.
Well, and I was watching your YouTube, and you have this what they call a doob. It's like a mini Barbie of yourself.
Yeah,
that's really funny. So you paid money for that?
Well, a friend got it for me. I thought
nice.
It was the coolest thing because he knew that I would just freak out and love something like that. Since I call myself, the Barbie, so it was like perfect.
And I'm assuming that's a stage name, right? Barbie is a stage name.
I've been calling myself that. Well, I didn't start calling it. It was a nickname given to me in childhood. By one of my ex-best friend, her cousin started calling me that because she couldn't pronounce Byronique. And so she said, "Oh, you're so cute. You look like a little Barbie. That's what I'm going to call you."
Well, I think Byronique is a great name. It's very unique. Unique Byronique, right?
Thank you.
And that way, like if you do get famous from comedy or acting, then nobody else will have your name, right?
Right. I hope, because I did look on YouTube not too long ago, and I looked my name up, and there was another chick with my name, exact same spelling and everything, and I'm like, oh no.
Hire a hitman.
Right.
Hire a hitman. Do you have a favorite comedian yourself, Byronique?
Right now, I love Kevin Hart. I always love his stuff. Yeah. But last night I was looking into, I think, what is her name? It's an Asian comedian, and she has a special on Netflix where she was pregnant while she did it. I think it's been up for like a year or two now, but I just watched it last night. And she was talking about some of the most hilarious stuff while she's pregnant on stage. And I was like, oh, she's dope. I need to look into her more. Like,
yeah.
You know what? Let me look up her name real quick because I was just watching it on Netflix, so I know it'll come up on my little search. What is her name? She was Ali Wong. Ali
Wong. Okay, yeah, I'll check that out. I haven't seen it yet, but I definitely check it out.
It's called Hard Knock Wife on Netflix.
Hard Knock Wife.
Yeah.
That's funny. I love it already. That's awesome. Now you're on Instagram, and you're the first. So the number 1 ST Barbie. So at the 1 Saint Barbie. So people can follow you there. And you posted something the other day, and it's like a soap. It's called Honey Pot. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes, I would love to talk about the Honey Pot. The Honey Pot is actually a Black-owned company of feminine hygiene, health, products, hygiene products.
Mhm.
So she has a line created of soaps for the kitty cat. She has the pads, she has the tampons, she has a vulva cream,
Oh my
she has
goodness. Oh my
uh,
goodness.
boric acid.
I'm immediately fascinated when you use these words. But I'm a pig, so it's I admit it, I'm a pig.
Well, at least you admit it. At least you admit it.
Only on this show, baby. Only on this show.
But she is amazing. It's great that it's a Black-owned company. And when I tell you the product, so my story with that is for the past 8 years, I had been using one of the most harshest soaps in such a sensitive area. And it was all because a actual real doctor, told me that I should be using Lever 2000 soap, which is
What?
very strong, antibacterial, down below on the kitty cat. And you know why? Because I went to her complaining about having ingrown hairs really bad down there.
Okay.
And most Black people do suffer from ingrown hairs because the way our hair grows, and it's hard, it's, coily and whatnot. And so she told me, well, it's because you're not cleaning good enough down there. You need to use an antibacterial soap down there. Now, what she didn't tell me is that by using an antibacterial soap down there, you are going to be stripping the vagina of the bacteria that it needs. It needs
right.
good.
So she gave you a bum steer, what we call a bum steer. She gave you bad advice.
Horrible advice. And this is why a lot of people don't trust doctors. You get what I'm saying?
I don't anymore. Yeah, I don't.
Tell a patient to do something like that to themselves. So for 8 years, I trusted her, and I've been using this stuff down there when all she really should have told me is to exfoliate. And so for the past 8 years, I've been so irritated after I have sex. I couldn't even wear a thong without getting a yeast infection. I couldn't wear tampons. It would just, everything would just irritate me down there. And I'm like,
and it was all
God,
because of this soap problem, right? The pH.
It was all because of this. So, and I had no idea that was the issue. I would think that guys are giving me STDs. I would run to the doctor and scream at the doctor when they would come back and say, no, you don't have an STD. Nothing's wrong. We don't see anything. And not one of those doctors thought to ask, hey, girl, what kind of soap are you using down there? You know what I mean? Yeah. Or what are you washing your underwear in? Because it's such a delicate area that anything could throw off your pH. If you switch your laundry detergent, if you switch your soap, and nobody thought to ask me this. So finally this year, out of all the years, 2020, God let it click. And I said, I'm using the wrong fucking soap down there. And and immediately it clicked for me, because I said, I would never have these issues with sex, with tampons, with thongs before I started using that soap. Because back in the day, before I started using that soap, I was using like Summer's Eve, like stuff specifically for the kitty. And I never had those problems. And so it just so happened that it clicked for me when this honeypot company like started to take off. So they had just got her products in Target. And so I forgot how I seen it. Maybe it was on Instagram or I saw the commercial.
That's huge. So she's got good distribution if she's in the Target stores.
She's in Target, and that's huge for a Black, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
can you buy that publicly, or is she still private company, or is it public? Can you buy stock?
I'm not sure about, because it's still fairly new. But she's elevating, because now her products are in CVS as well. And nice. That's a big change.
I love the branding. Honeypot, that's awesome.
And the great thing about her products, why they're so good, they're all herbal. So
now this brings me to one of your YouTube videos, which you titled My Vagina Monologue.
Yeah, that whole monologue is basically the story that I was just telling you.
I'm surprised that didn't get I'm surprised it doesn't have thousands of hits.
I haven't pushed my YouTube hard enough and got enough subscribers yet.
Yeah.
So that's what it really takes. You have to really push your material. You
And
know what I
your
mean? Like,
channel is just your name, right? Byronique Barbie.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
go watch it. There's some funny stuff on there. You have a video of you zip lining in Vegas.
Yeah,
You
that
want to
was
talk
so
about that?
fun.
It's pretty
That was
crazy.
great. That
Was it
was
fun?
great. It was absolutely. It was my first time zip
Yeah.
lining, and it was absolutely great. I had
Cool.
been wanting to do it for so long,
Is
and
Vegas open?
what better place to do it?
Can you go in the casinos right now? Is Vegas like totally open or?
In September, I did that in September for my birthday. And in September, Vegas was wide open. And the casinos, the restaurants, you could dine indoors. Vegas was just, it just felt like Vegas, except no clubs, of course.
Yeah, which is hard if you're trying to do stand up. You did a
Yeah.
set at. Have you done a bunch of sets at the Comedy Store?
Yeah, I've
You have?
done quite a
Yeah.
few at the Comedy
Yeah.
Store.
Okay. Did you know Mitzi Shore? I know she's passed now.
No, I didn't get to
No.
know her, but I remember when she passed because my comedy guru, I call him my comedy guru. His name is Adam Barnhart, and he basically had like a regular scheduled show every
Cool.
Sunday up in the belly room. And so
Yeah.
he was really, cool with her. And so
Yeah.
I remember he came and told us, when she passed and everything.
And is it open right now or is it all shut?
You know what? I just did something in September at the Comedy Store,
Yeah.
but the way they were running it is that the comedians are like up performing through like a window, and the
Oh, okay.
audience is in the balcony.
Oh, okay. So severe distancing kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That,
it worked. They
yeah.
have the TVs around, and
And it's still fun?
yeah.
You have a good time?
Oh yeah, it was definitely fun.
Yeah. Can you get a drink? Are they licensed?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, okay,
People were
cool.
drinking. Yeah.
And who's running that joint? Now that Mitzi's gone, who's running that joint? Is it one of her relatives or?
I want to say Adam had said it was her son that took over.
Okay, so they kept it in the family.
I believe, but then
Yeah.
somebody said that he was gonna sell it, or he wanted to sell it because he didn't want anything to do with it, something like that. But I'm not. Don't quote me. I'm not
Right.
sure.
So if a Canadian idiot like myself wanted to do a set there, I could call up this guy Adam and say, hey, I know Byronique. Can you get me 10 minutes? I don't know.
I don't even know if Adam still has his Sunday. Especially with
Okay.
all this COVID and it's been shut down.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. I don't even know. Well, I was actually working at a comedy club in Hermosa right before this happened. Not
Okay.
doing stand-up. I was just like a host. And I haven't heard anything from them. Like it's in Hermosa.
In
Beach,
Hermosa, what's the name of that club? We can give them
it's called the Comedy and Magic Club.
Comedy Magic
Hermosa
Club.
Beach.
Okay, and yeah, I guess you don't know if they're going to open again, or
I haven't heard.
you haven't heard anything.
Since the day I got sent home in March with my last check.
Okay, so you're just doing your own thing now, right? Like putting out comedy videos and
Exactly.
trying to get it going. Yeah, you have a really funny one where you and who's the other guy where you're slapping each other?
Oh, that's my brother.
Is that your brother? Yeah, that's I laughed at that. I left a comment too because I think it's very funny.
Trying to get back to the slapstick comedy.
All right. Do you have a Ken doll to go with your little doll that you had made of yourself?
No, because I don't have a real Ken in life.
That might be there's a sketch idea for you. Get a Ken doll and then you can act out little scenes with your.
Exactly.
Right? You probably thought of that already. Are you a millennial?
I'm doing something where it's like, how they do the thing where you have the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other shoulder.
There you go.
So I thought about doing something with like her, and she's like always in my ear.
Get two dolls, put wings on one and put horns on the other one, right?
Have her like, hey everybody. It's Barbie.
I love it. All right. Roasts? Are you a fan of comedy roasts?
I do like seeing people get roasted. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
Because where I come from, that's all we did growing up was sit outside all day and roast each other. Like,
Yeah. So that would come naturally to you, I guess, if you got that kind of a gig.
But you know what? I don't really like to do it publicly nowadays, especially because, it's so easy for you to get canceled. Everybody's so sensitive. Social media is a mess. So you can't even really roast people like you freely, like you want. Well, like I grew up doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't say any little thing. It's like, oh, that's too below the belt. That's too much.
Yeah.
Oh my God. How could you be so mean?
Some of the old comedy gods like Eddie Murphy, I think he's afraid to do a set now because it's so politically correct, right? I mean, he sees what's happened to guys like Louis C.K. and, Cosby, right? I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Do you want to talk about any of that stuff?
I mean, poor Bill. I
know, right? Like people tell stories about him being able to do like an hour and a half and he's still going, right? Like he's the king.
And never curse. And I just think.
Did he never swear? He never swore, huh?
I think they said Bill never would say a curse. You could never catch him saying a curse word.
There's a lesson. There's a lesson there for Amy Schumer. If you're watching Amy, you don't have to swear.
You can.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
But if you want to be yourself and be free, just say whatever. But
say whatever you want.
When people make a mistake, that all their hard work and that people can't separate the personal from the professional career. You know what I mean? Just because he messed up, it doesn't mean that all the years of, laughs and good shows that he brought us is just like should be, burned.
No, I mean, I grew up watching Cosby, and it was a deep sadness, right, when that news broke.
Yeah.
Same with Kevin Spacey, right? Like everyone loved watching his movies, and then when the bad news comes, you're like, oh, does that mean I can't watch those movies anymore?
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, but you gotta go with your gut because I mean, R. Kelly, the Black community still mostly really still listens to his music and supports his. You know what I mean? It's like we may not support what you did, but we support
support the music.
Your artistry.
I think that's okay. As long as they put out good music or good movies or whatever it is, I think that's okay.
Back in the old days, they used to separate. People weren't so wanted to be involved in a celebrity's life or an artist's personal life. It's just, I love you for music or your acting or whatever it is that you do, your paintings, and that's it. I don't care about your personal life.
You mentioned God earlier. I sense that you maybe have a really strong faith, Byronique. Did you want to talk on that a little bit?
I definitely do have. Well, I grew up, always being told in my household, you pray, you believe in God, the Lord will help you through anything you need, better than any of your family can help you, better than any human on this earth can help you, better than money. What you really need to be focused on, always have your eyes and heart is on the Lord and finding the spirit and the strength through him and having that, relationship, loving connection with him. And it's, it's not easy. It's a lot easier said than done. You know what I mean? Because it's not easy at all to, feel connected to something that you can't see, that you can't, you know what I mean? And so
I do, especially in the performing arts, because it's, for whatever reason, it feels like a lot of people in the arts don't have that faith, or they distance themselves a lot from it. And that's why it's refreshing to have someone on that does have that strong faith. I grew up in the church, and now I do tarot. So I do divination. That's why this show is called Gong Show Tarot.
Right, I was wondering about that.
Do you want me to pull a card for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We'll shuffle it up. See what, oh, that one hopped out. Okay. That's a good card. It's the 10 of Cups.
10.
So I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's
like a tree.
It's a tree, and it's got all these little lights in it. And then there's a couple sitting beneath the tree, and then there's a face in the tree.
I see that. Okay, I thought there was a face.
And 10 is a very powerful number. Do you find that the number 10 comes up in your life very much?
I can't say it does.
No, not so much, huh? Okay, well, you might want to pay attention in the next week or the next month. If the number 10 comes up, pay attention to what your thoughts are and what your feelings are. And maybe that's your spirit guides giving you a clue as to something you should follow. Also, couplehood. Are you in a couple right now?
No.
Okay, you might have some love on the horizon, so you might meet someone special. You never know.
Oh, no.
And there is this face in the tree, which indicates to me that maybe you have like someone watching over you, someone that's passed, or, you know, a benevolent spirit that's trying to help you. So I think you have.
I have so many people that have pretty much my whole family is dead already. So
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss.
I lost my mother when I was 6 years old. She was murdered, taken from me, and I'm the one found her like that at 6 years old. And then my grandparents, they both died back to back in 2011. I had another grandpa die in 2009. So I have quite a bit. You know, the people I love the most are all gone.
That's a lot of loss. I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
But the good news is I think that there's a strong presence that's still here for you. And they're rooting for you 100%.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Yeah. And I'm rooting for you too. I saw a set where you handled a heckler very well. You had a heckler, and I'll quote him. He said, "You ain't got no daddy, bitch." Do you remember this? And then you did like a drop kick.
Oh.
Is that someone you know? Was he just kidding around, or?
No, you know what I think that was? I don't think it was a heckler. What happened is that's one of my jokes in my stand-up is that people always said that I sound like a man. That's a very common thing that has been happening to me my whole life since I was little.
Okay.
People would say I sound
because you've got an alto. You have an alto voice. You probably have a good singing voice, I'm guessing.
If I would have trained, people told me I probably could have really sang good, but I never went to, like singing class.
Would you ever go out for like American Idol, or would you go out for American Idol? No?
I need some training for that. I need some training.
Not necessarily. Some people have natural talent. Do you sing in church? Do you sing in the choir?
No, I was in choir class in like 7th grade.
Okay.
And but I was always scared to sing out because I would hear those people saying, "Oh, you sound like a man. You sound like a man." You know what I mean?
Don't listen to them.
It really scars you. You know what I mean? When you have to grow up hearing this.
Do you know what I hear? What I hear when I listen to your voice is that you're very grounded. Like you're very sure of who you are and what you're about. And most people don't have that. So it's a gift.
I appreciate it. And I feel like, once I got older, I started to think to myself, people, they fear what's different and what they can't, you know what I mean? Yeah. So if you have something that makes you stand out, people are going to shit talk you. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, and as soon as you get any success, if they see you up on the stage or the soapbox or whatever, they're going to try to cut you down no matter what, right?
Yeah. I saw a meme that said, if you can't stand to be talked about or something, this isn't the business for you.
No way, Jose. Yeah, you have to have a thick skin or a very thin skin and be able to process it, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about or promote that you have coming up, Byronique?
Just please look out. Me and my brother are trying to start this new comedy page on Instagram. That one's at Byronique. So it's DUDA
Okay. Yep.
Nique. So
Okay.
Byronique.
I get it. So is he the
He's
Duda?
Duda.
He's
He's
Duda. Okay.
Duda, and I'm Neek.
And that's your brother, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Does he do stand up as well?
No, he's
No.
into the singing. He's into the music world. So he
Okay.
sings and he raps, and his YouTube is actually great.
Oh, good.
I'm
Good.
trying to learn from him. He has so many subscribers,
Yeah.
and he posts his music videos,
Oh,
and he's
good.
doing things.
Yeah, his band. He has a band, right? Because I saw a drum kit there, and I think the band
He,
is called the Shit Show. Is that right? Or is that
No,
no?
that's actually like I bought that for my I was trying to get like ideas for like a show. And so I saw that online and I thought that was so cute. So I used that as like my backdrop.
Okay, yeah, I noticed that. So I thought maybe it was the name of the band or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
see everything. So
his YouTube is Featherstone. If you want to look him up, that's his
Featherstone.
YouTube.
Okay. Yeah,
Featherstone.
I'll give Byronique a shout out in the description for this video, and
Great.
tell your brother I'll have him on as a guest if he wants to be on.
Oh, great. He would
Yeah,
love
because
that.
does he do stand up as well or
No, he's not
no?
into comedy. He's done some acting before, though.
Okay. Any
Yeah.
big movies that we might have heard about?
I think he was doing like some background work with Hairspray Live. That was
Oh,
pretty
cool.
big.
I
He
love
got a
that. I love
picture
that
with
stage play,
Jennifer
Hairspray.
Hudson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hairspray Live. He got a picture with Ariana Grande and all them.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was
No
like,
wonder he's getting hits on his channel.
yeah.
So he's probably on IMDb. So if I search him on IMDb, I can see his
I don't know if he
acting
has
history.
one of those yet.
No.
Because
Oh,
I think it was like background, but it wasn't
oh,
like
okay.
a main role. So I don't
Yeah.
know if he has that.
I did background in a movie called My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Do you remember that movie?
I heard of that, yeah.
I do background in that film, but mostly I just did commercials. Canadian actors, it's really hard for us to break into film and television because what they tend to do is they hire American actors, and then all the background performers are Canadian, right?
Oh,
Yeah. So if we want to make it big, we really have to move to California.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Best
Do you have a
thing.
couch I can crash on? Anyway, thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Have a great Sunday, and
Thank you.
thanks
Thank you for having me.
thanks
I
for coming on.
appreciate it.
Okay.